We're here relaxing on a nice Sunday afternoon in England. With Spike. I'm not going to give the address away, am I? Hello, sir.
Hello, mate. You're right.
Yeah, I'm right. Chris. Hello.
Chris Heilman, everybody.
Yes. I mean, 2 for 1.
2 for 1. 1.5 maybe.
Who you calling the half?
Me.
Oh, all right.
It's all right. Chris's mind's gone. He's all right. I've known Chris since 84.
Yeah.
When we toured with Tommy. He used to be in Bernie Tommy's band. It was Phil Lewis who was down the LA Guns.
Yeah.
And so we had many a time together, didn't we?
And since.
Yeah. That was when you were going out with the Flake girl, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But she was
Do
the
tell.
last. She was the last Flake girl. He's married to the Ripple girl now.
This isn't going to be serious conversation, is it?
He said that.
Yeah, okay. You ought to pan in that. I mean, these are available to buy off the website.
Oh,
I
hey,
assume, yeah.
as my mum said,
Yeah.
that's the best cup of tea she's ever had in her entire life out of one of them mugs. So get one.
Okay, well, after an eventful year,
Yeah.
we're here with a new music and a gig. So please tell.
Well, I got offered to do this show about 3 weeks ago. There's only about a week to go now.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, let's do it. And I was going to do it acoustic. This is Camden Underworld.
Right.
On the 8th of September, Friday the 8th of September. And I thought, and I was speaking to Chris, and I thought, instead of just playing acoustic, why don't we put a little band together? And we'll get some guests up and have and play songs from like my solo albums, like the Frankie Miller and 100% Pure Frankie Miller and It's a Treat to Be Alive, them albums. And then do a few Quireboys songs at the
And
end.
then as soon as Nigel heard that.
Yes. And
He
as
got
soon
it.
as he heard about it, he went, right, I'm coming over. But no, we have to do stuff anyway because we're doing the new album. So he went, well, I'll come over earlier.
Brilliant.
And so he's flying in for it. And hopefully Chris and then we'll do some Quireboys songs at the end. We're going to premiere the new single.
Yeah.
So that's from the new album, which is coming out early next year. So
Can you tell me the names?
Now, what I'm going to do is
Right.
I have to do it on the night for legal things.
Okay.
Or just to surprise everybody.
Well, it's a reason to buy the ticket.
So far, I mean, I've went through everything. I was speaking to Jim Cregan's helped me do it. He did the first album. Are you all right there? What are you doing?
Breathing. Is that allowed?
Yeah. Yes, so Jim Cregan's has been up to my place. We went through the songs like what we did on the first album. He's brilliant with songs.
Yeah.
You know, the majority, with Guy Bailey before he passed away, unfortunately. And he was like, you know what, Spike? He says, these are probably the best stuff you've ever done. He says, this is really good. And Jim, it's a bit like when Jim, when he produced the first album, songs like something like 7 O'Clock.
Yeah.
It never had a chorus.
Okay.
We never used to have a chorus for that song. And then he went one day, he's like, you know, it'd be great if you just put in a little chorus and that. And then we were in rehearsals and we're like, it's 7 o'clock, time for a party. And that's how, just things like that, he's good at organising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brilliant producer, and he's brilliant. Obviously, I mean, he's written with, Sir Rodney for years,
Yeah.
So, Copley Rebel and all that. So, and we're still really good pals. So we're going to, everything's in line to be done.
Brilliant.
So, and the new single's nearly finished. It'll be premiered on the night. You see, I can't say because there's 3 songs that we've done so far, but I don't know which one it might be.
Choices.
See what, well, we've got 21.
Right.
There were 21 songs at the minute that are some are very, very old songs that I'd forgot that we'd done.
Mm.
And I went home and looked. I had I had a suitcase with all the cassettes in of songs from when we first started.
Okay.
That weren't on the first album, or real Quireboys fans will know them. And from when we were, even when Ginger was in the band and stuff like that. So there's a few of them that we thought, you know what, and Jim was saying, you should do them, but, slow them down a bit and do different groove and things like that. And that's just what a good idea. So we might, a few of them, but, there's a lot of material to work off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all gone really good. And it's all come together, brilliantly. So the plan is working out fine. I knew it was going to, obviously with Guy dying, we were going to be doing it all this year, but now we're just in talks of doing festivals next year and getting the whole thing up and running. So Camden was just like, I was just going to, I was sick, playing the acoustic every night. I thought, you know what, I really want to get on stage. I'd done a gig with Tyler up in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
The Hot Knives. And it was so great just to be on stage with my mic stand again and just belting it out. You know what I mean? And doing me thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, it'd be good to do that at the Underworld instead of just playing acoustic. And I know it's short notice, but hopefully people will come down.
I don't doubt it, to be fair. I think you're going to fill the place out.
I hope so, yeah. Should be fun, huh?
Yeah.
Especially with Mr. Monk coming and everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, he's going to play bass. Are you going to get up with the Quireboys?
Probably.
What are you going to do?
Remind Nigel.
Actually, Chris played the acoustic.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good when he played it in December. The acoustic, because there's so much acoustic on the Quireboys stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about, I was saying to Jim, with the new Quireboys album, we've got some special guests playing.
Right.
But we're having one main guitarist. But I can't say who that is yet. I'll tell you after. You've probably seen me Camden. But it's not him. Who the hell do you think's going to play with the Quireboys? Who have I known the longest in my life? You know what I mean? And he's...
Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That's the hint.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything.
He used to be in a band called... As my mum called them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, really, the button's been reset with you. I mean, you've always been a prolific writer from what I've known.
Well, no, you know what? I mean, we write, but it's completely different. When I was writing with Guy Bailey, I'm not one to sit in the house and write songs. When he tells us I'm going to do an album, I always keep ideas and things like that. And then when it, I'm going to boot.
When the shit hits
the fan,
you panic like crazy.
Yeah. Good job, I know A, G, and D.
Okay. But I mean, this must be like breath of fresh air, really.
It is. I mean, the whole thing has been, I wanted to, the whole thing was after lockdown, I just thought the brand of the band was going downhill. And I just, I thought, let's take a step back instead of doing so many gigs all the time. And, remarket it. But obviously they had different ideas, which I totally understand. But, and it's just, as Guy Bailey said, I mean, Guy Bailey didn't want to, when we got the deal in 1998 for Sanctuary, the first person asked was Guy Bailey, and he was like, "Darling, I shan't tread the boards anymore, but you have my blessing to use the Quireboys name." You know what I mean?
Okay.
We both did that. Yeah, he said, "Good luck with everything."
Yeah.
Same as Chris Johnson and Rudy. And so that, and we moved to and plus Guy Bailey did not want to go back to Los Angeles.
Right.
Where we were going to do the album. So that was, that was the whole. So no, it would have been a lot different, I think, that if Guy had been back. But they went on their way to But Guy said to me, he says, as soon as it was announced on the apparently that and they were carrying on with the name, Guy went, "Fuck them. You know, it was like, it's how fucking we started. We were the ones in the back of a transit van. We played all these shows.
Yeah.
We built that name from day one. And, you know, it took a lot for him because he wasn't well at the time as well to get... And we got together in London and started writing. It was just like we hadn't stopped. But we never lost touch.
Mm.
You know, we always used to argue like cat and dog and fight and stuff, but we were best friends. That's what best friends do. And we always used to laugh about it in the end, you know? And that's how we'd write songs together. And once we started writing it, it just happened like that. And it was a wonderful thing to do, you know?
Yeah, I'd say you're really glad you got to work with him again before his passing.
Oh, man, you know, I'd known him. I met him when I was 16, when I first moved to London. When, you know, we worked on the building site before all that, the Quireboys and everything. But we had a whole plan of what we were going to do. We never thought it would happen. But it all, you know, thanks to bands like Tommy giving us support. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be sitting here next to you now, would I?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got an album we can't mention on the way, or mention the name of.
Well, you know, we've written I can give you titles of songs and stuff like that, but it's just like I want to wait and see what actually comes out of these 21 of what we're going to do, because some might not make it, some might do it.
Be a great double album.
I think, you know what? Yes, we could do. I don't know yet.
See how
I want to get in live with the band properly.
Yeah.
We've been doing, obviously, everybody's got recording studios at home now.
Yeah.
You know, so we were doing it like that, like how I done the Frankie Miller album. I put everything to a click.
Yeah.
Play the song on the guitar to a click, and then I'd send that to, like, say, Simon Kirk in New York. Put the Frankie, and then he'd put the drums on, and then he'd send Andy Fraser in Los Angeles, put the bass on, and then, you know, and send to guitars, and like Ronnie Wood played on it, and, you know, Luke Morley and loads of different people played on it. And Ian Hunter played the piano, and so many different people played on the album. And I thought, let's try and do a couple like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and then get in the studio and put it down live. That's how we want to do it.
Okay.
So we found a great studio, we're going to go in, and everybody get together and do it properly, you know?
Blind River.
Like the old days.
Yeah.
You know? And put it on tape. We picked a place with a proper old tape machine.
Proper tape machine.
Yeah. Where you can't make it, you know, you got to put it down like that. The whole point when you used to do records like that, and then when you were mixing them, everybody would have a part of, like, everybody was on 3 different, you remember that?
Faders.
You know, like faders to do, do this here, do that there.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. I miss all that. Instead of doing it on a computer and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can put so many layers on a computer as well.
I know that everybody
Just loses.
says, oh, you know, you can't tell the difference anymore. But in my head, I can.
Analog. Why are people buying albums over CDs or streaming? It's that analog sound, isn't it?
Well, I didn't realize when we did a Christmas song, and then when we did the release the Christmas song last year, when you put it on vinyl, you have to do a different mix. You have to do a different mix and all. I didn't understand all this. Everything's changed now, you know. But vinyl's doing really well now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I sold all mine, but hey.
If you think
I keep on picking the Quireboys up for £1 in them charity shops.
at the tail end of my stay in Los Angeles, I had a recording studio in Burbank.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
I know. How many nights spent in there? Michael Lee, do you remember when Michael Lee came down? Yeah. That's how we ended up with the Quireboys.
So basically, it was 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
And then we thought, it's got to adapt to this Pro Tools thing, you know, and learn. So we got rid of the 2-inch tape. And then after about a year and a half of doing everything digitally, people started ringing up and going, have you got that nice, rich sounding 2-inch tape still? And I said, no. So you can tell the difference.
You can. I believe you can.
When I done the Frankie album, I went into Rockfield to mix it. And I was with Nick Bryan. I says, you know what? And the tape machine. I says, let's try this. I says, have you ever done this before? And I said, let's take everything from the computer and put it onto the tape. Every cymbal, every drum, everything. And let's see how it sounds. And I'll tell you what, it did sound a lot warmer and a lot more like 70s vibe, you know what I mean? It did make a difference, I thought. But a lot of people go, why are you wasting your time doing it? It's just peace of mind, I think. I don't know. But to me, it does sound different.
Okay. I mean, obviously, that's bands like yourselves now relying more and more on merchandise to,
Yes.
to make an income. Because
Baby grows as well for me. I'm a granddad, right? Baby grows. So, SpikeQuireboys.com. Go on to the merchandise store.
But the albums themselves are now quite a key income now for bands like yourselves because streaming is such.
Well, do you know what? For bands like us, I don't think it's worth even putting it on Spotify.
Really?
What's the point? What does it do? You get the record for free. We don't make any money off it. I haven't put any of my solo albums on it. If one would sell them, I sell them at the gigs. I mean, what's the point? I just don't understand. But then, and I think a lot of people who follow the band don't want it on that. They want, I mean, we're talking about re-releasing the Frankie Miller, 100% Pure Frankie Miller, and I've just recorded, we just finished off mixing live at Sweden Rock.
Okay.
Which was with Simon Kirk and Mark Stanway from Magnum and Luke Morley. And it sounds brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a limited edition and put the two albums together on vinyl. Wow. And put loads of pictures on and things that so you can sit there and you know what it was like when you used to get an album and you look at the cover and I think people our age like things that,
something physical.
Or around that, I mean, I don't think we've got many 15-year-old fans, you know what I mean? Not even 20-year-old fans. We've got a few.
Oh, I mean, going now. I mean, you look at Spotify. You got like a little 2 centimeter picture of the band, and that's it.
Just
maybe a bit of bio.
Stuff like that.
It's just so the whole industry's changed.
We're going to release it on 8-track as well. Of the 8-tracks and
cassettes. Now I've got cars with cassette players in, so that's going to be great.
I have two suitcases full of cassettes of songs that we done from way back in the house. So that's what I was going through the other day. I still actually record my songs. When Jim Crean came around, he went, "Go and play me stuff off your iPad or whatever." I said, "I don't have an iPad." He said, "Well, it plays off your phone then." I said, "I haven't recorded them." He went, "What?" I said, "What?" He went, I said, "I'll play them on the guitar."
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, "I'm not." He said, "So you don't record anything?" I said, "Well, no." I said, "If I do record, I have a cassette tape deck that's the way I find it easier to use and, when you rewinded it and all that. That's the way I do it. But I always think if you do a good song, you're not going to forget it.
That's very true. Yeah, very true.
You come back to it and you go, "Oh, that's you don't." If it's a really good song, you remember it instantly. And then obviously, if you have got other bits of material and that I have got on cassette, and you go, "Oh my God, yeah, I remember that, but I can't remember doing it." You know what I mean?
That's why.
So it does come back to you.
Yeah.
So that's when I was going through the stuff with Guy Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are your fondest memories then from way back? I mean,
well, me and Chris, unfortunately when Guy was in hospital, me and Chris Johnson turned up and we were sitting there and I was like going, and we're like speaking out, and I says, "Why are you whispering? You can hear her. You can't hear her. Can you hear her?" And he was like, and I was like, he says, "Do you know what?" Chris went, he says, "Wasn't it when we were playing with Doctor and Medics, Tommy and One the Juggler and all these Temple Tudor." He says, when we were in the back, he says, "Them were the really great days when we had such a laugh, weren't there?" Then he says, "And when we become really successful, everybody seemed to just go their own way, and we weren't the same, and everybody was, apart from the American tours when we were on the buses, but even then it was. He says, I remember more of the early stuff rather than later.
Right.
And I think that's when me and Nigel were talking about it. He was like going, we got offered this book deal and everything to do it, and I says, but our career's too long to do it all in one book. I says, and Nigel was like, well, that's because the funniest times, when we used to, get in the service stations and nick their machines and smash them up and get the 10 pences out of them and all them days, and I'd play pool with the owner of pubs while they were raiding the bar behind them, you know what I mean, and nicking all the booze and then sleeping on the amps. There were the days where Paul Hornby was on drums, and we remember them probably better than when we were touring with bloody Whitesnake or Aerosmith or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Bon Jovi, or whoever we were playing with. You remember. It's probably because we all got Alzheimer's. You remember things further back than what we can.
We were discussing this before you came. It was like the 80s were only a couple of weeks away, weeks ago. It's just, time has flown. But you're still here. You're still buzzing. You got new music coming out. I mean,
I can't wait.
You must be loving life.
I can't wait to get back on stage. I want to get, when we do the album, I've been in talks, and I'm going to tour it for a long time.
Right.
I'm going to go back to Japan, go everywhere, do the whole thing again. I really want to get back out there. I've still got a couple of years left in me. You know what I mean?
Do you think you can put up with him for that long? Another couple of years?
Hello, we're here.
It's a lifetime commitment.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, dogs for life, not just for Christmas. I suppose it's spikes for life.
We had T-shirts, merchandise. We had Quireboys for life, not just for Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah. You got any more merch ideas for me, please?
Well, I'll just wing them through when they occur to me. But
my new T-shirt on the back, it says, it was Phil Mogg. Phil Mogg said, and it's got a quote of Phil Mogg on the back. It says, what does it say? It says,
the trouble with the world.
Oh, yeah, the problem with the world these days is everybody's a few drinks behind Spike. Phil Mogg, UFO.
He's not wrong.
I love Phil.
Yeah. Okay. We could talk for hours, but I don't want to hold you up on this lovely Sunday afternoon. You've been very kind to invite me into your home and to speak.
You're going to make Sunday lunch now, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, you are. I'll make the Yorkshires.
What's the secret to a good Yorkshire then?
Do you know what? Aside from the Harry Baker's seen my Yorkshire puddings, and he thought they were the best ones he's ever seen.
Really?
You see, I grew up. My dad was I grew up in hotels, so it was like I don't know how to cook, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The Yorkshires. When we lived in LA, we used to have Sunday lunch every. We didn't eat much of it, did we? But we used to cook it
every Sunday. And then, I'm not hungry anymore.
It's the whole thing of doing it, isn't it? And then inviting everybody else over to eat it.
It's quite a social thing, I suppose, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Especially when you're living in LA. Yeah. But,
guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time.
God bless you. Cheers.